Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Sne Mseleku. If you're coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. If you are a return subscriber, you do know how much you are appreciated for your time, data, and every opportunity that you are taking to watch my videos among the many other videos that you could have been watching. To all the new subscribers, thank you for choosing to subscribe to this channel. I hope I meet your standards. I hope I meet your expectations. In this particular video, I would like to just say a few things on Sne in Uthando Nesithembu. Uthando Nesithembu is a show that is run by a guy called Sne Mseleku with his 4 women. We were introduced to this family that has got 4 wives and about 10 children, if not more. About few years ago. Right now, as we speak, this show is on its season 6. Now, I'm not really a fan of this show, but there is something that is particular of my interest in that show. Ever since I heard that Sne, who is the oldest daughter of Sne Mseleku, had been violated, for some reason my heart felt compassion towards her. I felt a lot of compassion because maybe of personal reasons, which by now you may all know what it is. You can just, if you have been on this channel for a while, you would know what my interest is in Sne. So, and right now, I'm seeing everyone talking about Sne being pregnant. Everybody is disappointed by Sne falling pregnant. Reason being, it's not the first time, it's not the second time, but it's the 3rd time. And it may be the 3rd time that we know about. So, this has compelled me to make this video. I'm not making a video about the Sne Mselekus. I'm making a video about Sne trying to reach out to people that do not understand a few things about rape victims. We have discovered in previous season that Sne had been violated by someone known to the family, and this person used to fetch her and used to violate her while he was entrusted with transporting or fetching her from her maternal family to her paternal family. So this person took advantage of Sne, and it did not happen once, it happened several times. Now, I would like to stress some of the things that many people may not know about the after effects in rape victims. This thing of people being rape victims, people taking it very light. But in actual fact, it's something so deep that has got serious repercussions. It has got serious after effects that affect people to a point where they start behaving in a certain way, and then we are surprised, why are they acting this way? And people feel like you've been to therapy, Mos, so you must be okay now. Stop doing whatever you're doing. In actual fact, things do not happen that way. I must say, because many of you do know my history, do know that my daughter, I'm not going to talk about me today, I'm just going to focus on my daughter, have been through that. And I was lucky, I must say, I was very lucky, because the very first social worker that worked with her and worked with me together at a trauma center was the best. I must say, even today, trauma center for Enacheng. There was a lady who was a social worker there. I applaud her till today, because the things that she spoke about, the things that she told me about, as much as I am a teacher, when things happen right next to you like this, everything that you know falls out of the window. You do know these things when they happen to your learners. You do know these things when they happen in the society. The minute they come here, things change. She did make me aware of a few things that I was not aware of at the time. She did tell me that, number one, now that your daughter now knows that she had been violated, expect that she may not be ready at this particular time for therapy. But there comes a time when she will be ready for therapy. And no one can control that time. And giving a person that is not ready for therapy is not therapeutic. And at first I felt like, no, it has to be like organized. You know how we think therapy can fix everything? Guys, therapy does not fix everything. Ask me, I know. Therapy, on top of it needs a lot of individual work. It needs a lot of internalization within you as a person as well. It also needs you to make a few changes, and sometimes it's difficult to make those few changes because it also kickstarts the mental health. It kickstarts the mental unhealthiness, to be exact, because there is no way you can get into a rape situation and come out the same. Never. It doesn't happen. On the other side, you will survive, but part of you has died, and that cannot be changed. So your mental health gets affected a whole lot. Now, you are going through the different stages. Some of the stages involve denial. Denial is the very first one. I love this word. I will say this word a lot because this word, denial, played a big role in my life. And I know that we may not admit it, but so many of us are engulfed within this 6-letter word, denial. Looks like it's just 6 letters, but it means a lot. So the first thing that a victim gets through is denial. There is a part of the brain that does not want to accept this as a reality. And whilst the denial is still there, it's difficult to penetrate with any other thing. including therapy. At that particular time, therapy is not even possible. There is also a why me, of all people, why me? There is also a feeling of helplessness, a feeling of regret. Why did I not do this? Why did I not fight for myself? Why did I not run? Why did I not scream? Why did I not? There are so many. Why did I not? Right there. And then there's also a feeling of, but I should have died. Why did I survive? Why am I still here? Because part of me is dead. Now I'm saying all these things because I do know for sure I've never sat down with Sne, and I'm not claiming to be an expert, but believe me, if anyone was to interview Sne, the things that I'm saying right now would be part of the things that she would talk about. One other thing is, yes, after she has spoken up, she was arranged a therapist to work with, which I doubt that that therapist is still part of her therapy even now. And I'll tell you why. Because I do know that when you are new at therapy, the problem is the therapist wants to help you heal, and when they do so, they tend to dwell into what happened. It's part of their job. It's part of what they should be doing. It may not be in the first session. It may not be in the second session. But at some point, she likes to take you, visit that time, visit that place, visit that incident. And that's where the problem is. For many people, they do not want to go there. They think they can just move away without going there. And unfortunately, with therapy, it's not possible. You absolutely have to visit that very painful moment, because I usually compare it to boil. I also compare it to, what do you call this? You know, the boil. The boil is that thing that has got pus inside. It's also called, let me check. In Sesotho, we call it letopa. I don't know what they call it in Zulu. Now, it needs to be taken out. It needs pressure. It needs pressure to be applied to that pus to come out. And until that white small thing comes out, you do know that you're not healed. So going to therapy is just like that. You've got to subject yourself to that painful moment. And the first time you visit, the second time you visit, and the how many time you visit, it's still painful, but it gets better and better and better. But I can assure you that it's not an easy thing to do. And that is the only reason why many people do not last in therapy, because they feel like they do not want to visit that particular moment. So I don't know about Sne if she's still in therapy, but I suspect if she was still in therapy, it would have been reflected in this season as well. But maybe they will still show it. We don't know. But I suspect that did not happen. Besides, I'm not making excuses for Sne here, but I'm going to tell you something that social worker did tell me, that the after effects of rape in children in particular, many tend to be promiscuous as they grow up. Some tend to be like awkward towards sex, even when they are adults, when they are supposed to have it in marriages. it becomes difficult for them. Either they are turned off totally from it. Some may even choose not to get married at all. Some may end up hating men altogether. Some may end up being afraid of men. Not that they hate men, but they may be so afraid of men to a point where they may end up not even having relationships. Some may have relationships, but those relationships could be very problematic because they are taking out all the anger to whoever is available to them as a partner. And then she even said some tend to hate men to a point where they may choose other people or same people of same gender as their sexual partners. So they may end up being lesbian, choosing to be lesbian. So here we're not talking about people who are born as lesbians, who are many. There are people who are born like that. But there are other people who are brought to being lesbians by circumstances. And some of the circumstances may be rape. So rape can drive other people to end up choosing to be lesbians as well. So all these things were brought to my attention by that social worker when my child had just been confirmed that she was indeed raped, not once, not twice, but many, many times. So she did tell me that I need to not force therapy on her, but I need to always be on guard towards her behavior. And she also did explain to me that there is a chance that you may find that she could be masturbating, which was something that I did experience. And that is something that I had experienced even before everything came to light. That this is the cause why she had started masturbating as a child. So she did explain that many of the children, when they are exposed to sex when they are children, they are like, it's like somebody is lighting a matches, like setting up the fire that can no longer be controlled after that. So if a child gets exposed to sex, there is a lot that is going to burn. Either now she's got these emotions that are now heightened. Many of the children who are sexually molested, their sexual feelings get heightened. They get started and heightened at the same time. Hence, you'd find that many of the children who have been violated end up violating others, or they end up teaching others how it's done. It is part of that. Now, part of the things that are involved in terms of people who have survived or children who have survived sex, it's running away from home. Part of the reason is they are trying to avoid a place where they were violated. If they were violated at home, there is a highly likely chance that they may not like to stay at home. They may prefer to be somewhere else except for here. And they may have sexual partners from a very, very young age, and they fall prey to other predators as well, or they fall prey to people who are their age who may already be aware of the sexual activity and may want to engage with them in the sexual activity. And to them, it may not even be enough because something is heightened within them. The edge is heightened and cannot even be controlled. no amount of prayer. Guys, I do know people think like everything can be solved by prayer, but the situation in our world has proven to you guys that not everything can be fixed by prayer. How many times have we prayed for things, but things stay the same if they are not getting worse? Do not ever think that prayer can break anything. Prayer is useful. I'm not going to lie. I am witness to prayer being very useful. I can tell you of incidents where I prayed and I saw change. I even saw immediate change. But I am also a witness to prayer not being the answer to everything. Prayer is not the answer to everything. You can what do you call it? Spiritual bypass, and let's stop spiritual bypassing their victims. Whereas each time a person says something, then you wanna throw the prayer in there. The prayer is not the answer to everything, guys. God has placed different people here so that they can help us. With a reason, with a purpose. So, one other thing, okay, what I wanted to dwell on in terms of Sne, I don't want to talk a lot about this. My view on what Sne is going through is, this is my opinion, and being it my opinion does not make it right. It's not like this is gospel, but this is my view, this is my opinion. Sne have been molested. Clearly this person could have been molesting her there at her home, at her father's home, where no one could see. Her being around that place could have been reminding her a lot of what happened. Her being exposed to that violation had started the spark that I spoke about, the spark of heightened sexual activity. Sne may have been in company of this boy, this guy, that ended up being the father of her kids. And Sne may have found comfort in that guy's arms, because maybe he had a place where he could accommodate Sne, and while Sne is running away from that painful place. And then from then onwards, Sne had the first child. People who are sexually molested, they do not think like everybody else, particularly when they are not advancing in school. Education becomes very, very important, because you tend to get a certain picture of and understanding and the words to articulate what is happening as you are busy studying. That, okay, to understand, okay, I'm doing this because you end up, education again makes you meet up with people who have been through what you've been through somewhere, and they help you with the vocabulary to say, okay, this, I am like this because this happened. You end up saying, oh, okay, that's why I'm also like that. You start understanding some of the things. And I don't know her level of education, but with her having children there and there, I suspect she may have not carried on with her education. So she may not have the vocabulary of what is happening to her. She may not have the understanding, the full comprehension of what has happened to her and what is happening to her. Her mental health may have been affected, and that could have contributed to her not honoring her clinic visits where she is supposed to go and ensure that she does not fall pregnant. She fell pregnant again, and she went through therapy. There is a chance that now it opened the heel, the whatever opened, the pain opened again because of therapy that she was in not so long ago in season 5. And that may have opened the wound. That may have made her go back or relapse into whatever mental cycle that may have made her to act in a way that ended up her being separated from the father of her kids. Because sometimes we were not talking about this, and now this has happened. You are acting somehow, the boyfriend is used to you being like this, and now because you are starting a new chapter in your life where you are now talking about what happens and maybe is affecting you somehow, this one won't understand. And maybe this was a secret that you did not even tell them. Sometimes men, when they are told secrets for the first time, they behave in a way that cannot be, like, you cannot presume that this is how they will act. So we do not know what happened to her and the boyfriend. And most of the time when people separate with their first boyfriends, when the minute they go separate ways, they think it's no longer necessary to take precautions. If they were taking precautions, they stop. They feel like, why should I use any precautions, because I'm no longer in a relationship? And most of the time is somebody falls in love, or somebody gets attracted to them, and they feel like, because they are constantly craving love, remember, now they fall into other people's hands. And by then, either, even if they can start by then to take precautions, or sometimes they just giving themselves up, because remember, sometimes they have got this constant sexual desire, and it's not devilish. It is not. It's not even their fault. It's not even evil, because sometimes women, on their own, they've got a sexual appetite, a sexual appetite that is high, just like men can have sexual appetite that is high, because we are not the same. So we do not know what her sexual appetite is, but here I'm making a theory of what could have happened to her. So she may have fallen prey into a relationship that is new, that is hot, that ends up in bed with people that are not prepared. And I don't know why men do not like condoms, guys. We also make it a mission for women to stay away from pregnancy, but it's like we are not stressing enough to men. Right now, Sne is getting the flag. Let's cut her some slack, please. Because really, she did not make that baby alone. That's number one. Okay, we do know her. And we know her because of the show that's at her family. But let us not forget that it takes two to tango. So, on her family side, I wonder how much they understand about victims of rape. I wonder how much they made it their mission to understand what she's going through, what she has gone through, what she's still about to go through in future. Are they making those efforts, or are they just throwing the money into the problem? Like, we paid the therapist, so please go to the therapy. Guys, therapy is not enough. Ask me, I've had several therapists. I can even tell you which ones are my favorite. But I can still cry because of the pain sometimes. There are times when I am definitely sure that I'm healed. But then there are times when I am reminded that that is not that easy. So I would like to believe that Sne, yes, she needs to grow up. And I think the big present that they can give Sne is to force her to do a course or courses, to force her to get education. I do know that people think, oh, not people think, I do know that education is not the answer to everything, just like prayer is not the answer to everything. But maybe if she can carry on studying or doing any other course that can help, maybe for her to counsel others, because courses like that are there, they are available if she is encouraged to do something like that, because sometimes you heal while you are busy trying to heal others. That's when you get healed. So I wish that for her. I don't know what are her interests in terms of education, particularly in education that can heal her. Any subjects in psychology, I find them very, very helpful. Or social worker, I hope she can do something like that, and maybe it can reach out to her. Or any other form of healing that she can get. And I just hope that she can go back to therapy. It's not enough. 2 sessions are not enough. 10 sessions are not enough. Actually, therapy is like, I don't know what I can compare it to, but it's something that you must be willing to wean yourself off, go back when you cannot cope anymore. It's a measure that if you are a rape survivor, you must be prepared that now and then you may need it. Now and then you may need it. Not every day, don't be every day, but there are those times when you feel like I'm not coping at all. Just know that when that time comes, sometimes it comes after years, sometimes after months, but when it comes, allow yourself to go to therapy. Guys, Sne is pregnant, and in our African society, we don't even believe in abortion. Now that her pregnancy is known by the world, no one would even suggest in that family that okay, she needs to consider abortion, because I don't think she's emotionally ready to be a mom. But then it is what it is. I believe that one day you will understand why some of the things have got to be part of us to help with pain, to reduce the pain, to also reduce the pain to the next soul, because sometimes a person brings the soul here which they were not ready for, only to come and hate that soul for as long as it lives in this world. There are people who are hated by their mothers because they were not expected. There are people that knows no love because they were not expected. There are people that are hurt by others after being born. They are rejected. They are abused in all sorts of ways. Some of them end up being part of the societal problems that we have. Some of them end up being drug abusers. Some of them end up being serial killers. Some of them being rapists. Some of them being any other thing. So one day, we will understand why the law did allow abortion to be part of the options that women can consider. Unfortunately, I do know that religion has made its way throughout the society, and it does not even provide solutions but it does give laws that are not practical at times, but people are willing to just adopt and use them. Worst part, they portray them onto others. They also project them onto others. So I hope she goes back to therapy and get ready to give birth to the third child. And I just wish she can do something, because now she's gonna be a mother of 3, and yet she is still not, yes, she is not mentally unstable. She's not totally mentally unstable. Therefore, she is still responsible for the decisions that she is making. I hope she wakes up and make different choices from the choices that she has been doing or making up until now. Thank you for watching this. Bye-bye.